Hey, but hey! What do you say? Don't walk, run, or you'll miss all the fun at the Werepig Playground!
Welcome to the No Pants Zone party. You can join at home. Come along and bring your friends. Here the party never ends. Welcome to the No Pants Zone. Never have to feel alone. Go ahead and shake your butt. No one here will give a fuck. Welcome to the No Pants Zone. Welcome to the No Pants Zone. Welcome to the No Pants Zone. Welcome to the No Pants Zone.
I thought the cake was a bit stodgy. I mean, there was a burst of lemon that was nice, but the jam itself, I'm going to say it, I thought it was squidgy. Yeah, yeah. Oh, glad I could help, Prue. Yeah. No. Oh, Piggy Petter's just checked in. I gotta go. Say hey to Paul for me. All right. Bye-bye. Hey, but hey, howdy and heroink. Welcome to the Funky Werepig here in the No Pants Zone studios. Throw those pants in the air like you just don't care. Right here, right now is Thanksgiving Day. Yeah. So I want to thank you for inviting us into your home. Unless, of course, you don't get to this show for a couple days. But that's all right. That means we still spent part of the holidays together. Uh, Unless, of course, you're one of those people that doesn't even discover the Funky Werepig in like 2023, in which case, dude, don't you think it's time to get rid of the turkey carcass? What the hell's wrong with you? Clean up your house. I am in full Thanksgiving mode. Got the comfy shirt on. Just got out of the shower, so I'm daisy fresh. We got the underwear scented candle lit. We got Boychild 1.0 working the exercise bike that powers our Commodore 64 Magic, and Boychild 2.0 just ran off to help in the kitchen. We do a special werepigging to the turkey in which we stuff it full of moon pies and then we baste it with Zima. But don't eat the yams. Yams are, if you Google search yams, it'll say sweet potatoes, but they're not. They're like the invasion of the body snatcher of tubers. Yam stands for your ass mine. So don't eat the yams. Wait till you hear about our guest for the show. He is a longtime Werepig veteran and a fan favorite, Harry Shannon. Talk about a Mr. Do-It-All, actor, author, singer-songwriter, Emmy nominated songwriter. He's written for Reba and Glenn Campbell, Eddie Arnold. He was also a VP over at Carol Co for a long time when they were cranking out all the big movies. I think he worked on one of the Rambos and Terminator 2. I wonder if his VP duties included a stunt double. Yeah, because he he's like Schwarzenegger and Stallone. He's a big buff machine. But he also worked on Basic Instinct. Did you know that? Yeah, Basic Instinct. He did with Sharon Stone, the famous crossing and uncrossing the legs scene. Yeah, Harry taught her that. Yeah, which is one of the reasons we had to keep him on the radio show, because he just wouldn't stop doing that. At 22, our musical guest has already put in a decade of hard work performing live and recording her own original songs, including her new single that just dropped, The Deep End. Paige Shannon joins us and sings in true Thanksgiving fashion a song she co-wrote with her father, This House. This morning coffee is going to be pretty exciting. Last season, I had Michelle Seidman and the Women in Blues as my guest, and they impressed me so much. I promised to dedicate one show a year to them. And Michelle is here drinking coffee with me to share some news she promises is going to knock me on my bahookie. Thank you so much for stopping by real quick for morning coffee. I know how extremely busy you are right now. And for me personally, we've kept in touch since you were on the show. I got to be honest, I didn't know restraining orders were a real thing. I thought that was just like CSI TV stuff. But I want to thank you, and I want to thank the judge for letting you pop in very quickly.
Yeah, that's what you get for 452 texts in 24 hours.
Yeah, but it's all 72-point font. It's just a couple words at a time. I'm really slow. I don't text well. But the reason we have you on real quick for morning coffee is something just happened with the Women in Blues, and it involves a big blues festival in Memphis and a spotlight devoted to the Women in Blues. What happened?
Well, we're going back to Memphis for the International Blues Challenge. For many years now, we've done a showcase of female blues artists in Memphis during the International Blues Challenge. That's run by the Blues Foundation that's based in Memphis, Tennessee. And they sort of adopted us into the fold a few years back, and we've been going every year. Last year, of course, we went virtual because of the pandemic, but this year we're going back. I don't think there's going to be nearly as many international acts because of travel restrictions. But people are already booking their tickets and booking their rooms and their Airbnbs and their rental cars and everything else to go. So
now this is on January 20th, and I know that because that's also the same day we put up our last show before we take our break. So on January 20th, not only will you guys be kicking Bahookie in Memphis, but the host of the show is going to come on the Funky Werepig. Is that true?
Yes, and it was so exciting because we didn't announce to anybody who the host was going to be until we did our lottery drawing. We do a lottery for the spots, right? And so we were announcing, that we've got a new host for our live streams this year, a blues artist named Heaven Davis from Atlanta, and that Meg Williams is coming back to be the house band director, and that Red Velvet's coming back to do our close, and our opener and featured artist this year is Lady A, the real
the
lady.
original Lady A, not this.
Not this.
We got to change her name to be politically correct.
Right?
The Lady A.
The real Lady A.
On the Funky Werepig.
Yeah. Because I haven't had a chance to type all the winners out. I'm still holding the lottery draws here. Just because I think it's really cool. We got Deborah Stafford and the Night Stalkers, Libby Ray Watson, Mary Washington Brooks, Susan Angeletti Band, Mama Hope, Bridget Kelly Band, Rochelle and the Sidewinders, Mark and Jill Burnham, Kathy Greer and the Troublemakers, Ray Gordon, and our team this year is Perigita Bastola with the teen band Soul. So we've got young, old, white, black, Piedmont blues, Delta blues, Cali blues, swing blues, you name it. Every type of woman and every type of blues will be represented at our Women in Blues showcase in Memphis this year.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. So, okay. So, again, January 20th, get your plane ticket or just start running right now. It's November. You have time. Just start running to Memphis. Just jog. And then we'll cover this in January, but we've talked a little bit about this back and forth. I think it's time you guys revive your summer festival.
Yeah, we would really love to. That was how this all started, was a festival in Wilmington, North Carolina. The first one was 2006, then we did one in 2007, then 2008. But we really want to bring the festival back. We'd love to do the showcase in Memphis every year, but then at the end of summer, beginning of fall, do a festival, 3 days, nothing but female blues artists.
Just the National Women in Blues.
Yes.
For a 3-day Woodstock crazy thing.
Right. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool insight. So I would proudly at this point, because it is the no pants zone, stand up and show you where I got my Women in Blues tattoo. But I already got one restraining order against me. I'm not going for a collection of them. So, well, thank you so much for being here. Morning coffee. This is one of my favorite ones so far. This is nothing but great news. I will see you, my good friend, in January, and we'll raise hell then.
Sounds good.
Hey guys, bad time to take your lunch break. Yeah. Wait till I tell you who we got. Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you a hint. Her name begins with A. All right. See you later.
Bye. Adore you.
There he is, live via satellite through Zoom, our own musical director, JJ Glamour. JJ, good sir, it is Thanksgiving. And if anybody can help out this crazy world, it's you. What is one thing we can all be thankful for?
Mocha.
A guy like you is probably being pulled in 100 different directions. Are you doing anything special over the holidays?
Oh, yeah. I discovered underground cage fighting. Weapons allowed. Completely illegal. Are we broadcasting now?
No.
Excellent. All the betting is dark web, black market, or QVC. It's like Fight Club, except instead of Edward Norton, it's more like Anderson Cooper.
And you bet on these matches?
No, I fight in them. It's a great way to work out all the stress and the anger that builds up day after day. You really just want to smash the other guy's face in. But here's the beautiful thing. If anyone does die in the fight, we all come together to dig the hole. All the hatred vanishes, and everyone shares a feeling of, I'll say it, global unity. I global unity the hell out of these guys.
That's a tender moment there, dude. I want to thank you for sharing that with us. Look, we got to get to the Magic Farmers comedy break. And I don't know how you keep inspiring us or what inspires you, but could you play us out, good sir?
You know, we creative people find our muses in so many different ways. This one is called Put That in Your Colorado Hookah and Smoke It.
Behold the Magic Farmers Incorporated. Speak, Moo Cow, speak.
You're not the boss of me.
Hello, is this mic on? Mute walks into a bar. Bartender says, "What can I get for you?" The mute says nothing because he's mute, goddammit. Hey.
It's Sappy Putz, America's last surviving vaudevillian comic and master of the monologue, now on tour for the first time in 40 years.
Any birthdays? Any anniversaries? That's funny, I wrote that, goddammit. Old couple. Wife tries to revive their love life by role-playing. Hold your applause to the end of the joke. She comes in the bedroom dressed as Wonder Woman. So the wife says, "Are you ready for a night of super sex?" And the husband says, "I'll have the soup." Hey.
You'll get all of Sappy's classic jokes. Burlives was a commie. Gay means something else now. And Betty White is a sexy young thing. And Sappy proves he's still at the top of the game as he tackles today's taboo topics.
At my age, I like to wear two masks. One on my face and one on my hootie-hoo. Hootie-hoo. That's one of those jokes you kids like to tell today. I haven't seen a crowd this confused since Harvey Weinstein said, "Yeah, me too." Oh, that guy's going to jail. In the red light district, who wants to snizzle my badizzle? Hey. A hunter sees a naked lady posing against a tree. She winks and says, "I'm game." So he shoots her. Hey. But seriously, folks, don't objectify women. I haven't seen someone who's looked so shocked since Jimmy Carter showed his wife his peanuts. Peanuts.
Sappy Putz, playing clubs and theaters like he did with Jack Benny, Laurel and Hardy, and Mae West. Don't miss his whirlwind Get Off My Lawn tour. The comedy genius that Kevin Hart calls hopelessly white. It's Sappy Putz!
What do you get when you cross the Queen of England with a sports camper? That's funny, I wrote that, goddammit. Who here knows CPR?
Buy your tickets now, because every show may be his last. Sappy Putz, he entertained your great-grandfather.
Pull my finger.
This is Sharon from I Smell Sheep, and this month's book is The Underworld Library by Laura Bickle. The Underworld Library, series Hellbrary by Laura Bickle. This is an urban fantasy. Whoever possesses the great library of the underworld rules hell itself and threatens the destiny of both the heavens and earth. Our reviewer, Bianca Greenwood, had this to say. This action-packed story moves quickly and provides an excellent, well-crafted foundation for the series. While Eve is the main focus, the shifting perspectives throughout the book are dynamic and interesting. I look forward to reading future installments set in this vivid original world. We give this book 4 sheep. Until next month.
Check out the award-winning review site for books, comics, and movies your funky Werepig loves, ismellsheep.com. Want the best in indie music? Head on over to tmvcafe.com and tell them the Werepig said, "Alright, baby." This is WSNZ Snooze AM. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and if you're awake and listening, you're a fool. We just played Aerosmith, Queen, and Billy Joel. Now let's check in with Timotheus the Traffic Guy. How would you like to be $100 richer? It's time for our question of the day. Call in at 555-9621. That's 555-0019. The first right answer wins $100. Now here's Diana with the question of the day.
Why?
Go ahead, call in. While we wait, here's some more music coming at you from Billy Joel, Aerosmith, and this classic from Queen.
The first Thanksgiving was in 1621. Very few people today were alive then, but using modern high school history books, Wikipedia, and the wisdom of my 22-year-old influencer, Deb, I discovered absolutely amazing facts. Would you like to hear some of them? Yeah, me too. Sure. There was probably wild turkey on that first Thanksgiving table, but there was also fresh eel. Big, slimy, ugly eels. Dig in, kids. Once the elderberry wine kicked in, the women pulled up a front row seat to the first annual Pilgrim Mansicle competition. Puritanical, my ass. Them boys went all the way down to their baggy boxers. Gobble, gobble, you laced mutton. 1621. Who knew when everyone was cheering and celebrating, that would be the last Thanksgiving Day win for the Detroit Lions? In the earliest days, Columbus mistakenly called the indigenous people Indians, but the settlers more than likely called them by their tribal name, the Wampanoag, and the indigenous people called the settlers the new asshole neighbors. All the Thanksgiving love and togetherness went to hell, and the killing started at 5 a.m. the next morning when Walmart unlocked its doors. I'm JJ Glamour, proving once again that I'm more than eye candy. Happy big slimy ugly eel day, everybody.
Subscribe to the Funky Werepig and let the laughter and the music drop right into your hands. I want to thank the calendar for not adding to the hysteria that is Black Friday. The day after Thanksgiving is now labeled as the day after Thanksgiving. I feel safer already.
This has happened a few times where somebody thinks they recognize me, but it's usually because they think I'm Kenny Rogers or I look memorable. And I walk out and this guy says, "Are you Harry Shannon?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, I have your novel. Never finished it. Ta-da!
He is one of my favorite authors. That's how I got to know him. And until Maury says otherwise, he's probably my father. We'll find out. We'll find out. We've got a lot of talking to do. So let's bring on Mr. Harry Shannon.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm awake. It's
you're awake. I'm still doing
you're
this.
3 hours. You're 3 hours on the flip side.
Yeah.
It's that East Coast, West Coast meeting.
It seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah.
I asked you. I said we could meet.
You did.
Late your time or what? And you were just like, you know what? I'm a guy who gets things done. That's and you went for it, and now you're going for it. So
yeah. So we're in this thing together. Don't mock me. I did not come here to be made mock of. We're in this together now.
Well, it was good talking to you, Harry. It was nice talking to you.
That's what we're here for, dude. Yeah. Now, one more time. How old are you?
I am. I clicked on the opposite side of 55.
Okay.
So yeah, we've
well,
done
it
the math.
It is possible.
We've done the math before.
If I was 18 and blind drunk on the road on St. Patrick's Day, I could be your dad. That's entirely feasible. Yeah.
Yeah, we have done the mathematics before.
And no, I would not remember it.
A lot of, when I'm the end result, a lot of people just don't remember it.
I don't want to remember this, whatever this is.
Speaking of which, another thing we share in common. Aren't we both December babies?
Yes, December 4th.
Yeah.
I'm turning 70 freaking 3.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're looking good. You're looking good, my friend.
Yeah, my wife says that's just because I've looked old since I was 50. So everybody's like, this guy never ages. Yeah, no, I did.
Like the Steve Martin theory.
That's right.
You know, when you have gray hair when you're 20, you haven't aged.
And everything clicks like that. Like, I remember I worked briefly at a bar in West Los Angeles called Ledbetter's, which was, you remember Hugh, right? Hugh Ledbetter or whatever. And Ledbetter's was run by Randy Sparks. And he created the Back Porch Majority and the New Christie Minstrels and all these things. And I was working briefly in the club, playing a little bit of original stuff and mostly singing with the Back Porch Majority. And Steve Martin opened for us. So we're probably talking 1968 or 9.
Banjo.
And with the banjo and the tongue through the napkin bit and all this stuff and the thing with the arrow in his head. And everybody was like, what? And you could, but in a strange way, like, how does he make this work? But he does. You start out going, this is not even particularly funny. This is like a little kid clowning. And then you end up laughing your ass off. And,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like we've talked about.
So I can actually say that Steve Martin opened for me.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Yeah. I should have. We should have put that on a Post-it note to begin the show, and I would have just said that. Steve Martin once opened for this guy, Harry.
I'm sure he remembers it.
Now, you have quite the history. On the old radio show, we talked about this all the time. We would love when you would share with us tales from the day. Ladies and gentlemen, somewhere on the internet, you can find a very young Harry Shannon on an episode of the Dean Martin Show.
The Kids Next Door.
The Kids Next Door is the name of the group that he was in, and they're with Dean Martin. And they used to, if you're not aware of what Dean Martin shows were like, they were a variety show.
Yeah, that was really big back then.
Yeah, you had a movie star as the main guy, and then you had a band and some music and some skits and some silly stuff and whatever. So it was a really fun thing, not the rigid format we have now. And there was a beautiful, and I thank every day for knowing this. There is a beautiful musical bit that Dean Martin did with Harry and his friends, where they were all on something called Hoppity Hops or Hippity Hops.
I don't even remember. They're
big rubber balls. They're still out there. They're big rubber balls with a handle.
Big rubber balls with a handle.
You bounce up and down.
Yeah.
And he got to do that with Dean Martin, and it was televised, and you can find it on the internet.
Yes, I believe we were singing something as lively and contemporary as "I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts" from 1937.
You just made life better. I was already.
And by the way, with Dean Martin is decidedly stretching the word with. Basically I'm 2 rows behind him going like this, trying to make sure that I'm on camera. But it was pretty funny because the bouncing around thing, which I did not have time to really learn how to do, 2 or 3 of us almost went over sideways when they shot it. But we just barely got away with it. It's pretty bad.
Looking behind you on the shelf.
Yeah? Which?
Over your left shoulder.
Oh, God.
There's a black and white photo. What is that?
That is the Kids Next Door.
That is the Kids Next Door.
I was doing some research on something, and it required me to look at TV show photographs from stills. And I thought, I wonder. And I typed in the Kids Next Door, and this came up, so I had to buy it. This is CBS Studio Center on Radford, where they used to do a bunch of variety shows and stuff sometimes. And I looked it up. We were doing a special with Don Knotts, who was a regular on the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, yeah.
And
The Ghost of Mr. Chicken.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe the greatest movie ever made.
Absolutely delightful man. And so we were opening for him on the show. And I am in the center there, surrounded mostly by girls.
Look at this. Okay. All right. Right there. Here's what I love. You keep saying in all your stories. So I was in the very back row, and I was just trying to get camera time or whatever. Harry, hold it up one more time in case they didn't get it. I want to point out the importance of this. Right there in the middle, in the front row, surrounded by women.
Yeah, well, actually, Mickey would be close. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Mick was decidedly West Hollywood even back then. So yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, poor Harry. They always put him in the back.
Yeah, well,
you never got to see him. Oh.
Well, most of the time they did. And then what made that one fun is the choreographer called me a clubfoot. And so she would say, put clubfoot in the front row with the guitar on him and don't let him move and stuff like that, I was bad. I was so bad.
Your resume is long enough. We've talked about all the wonderful things you've done on your resume.
Dancing is not on it.
You first earned my love and my devotion and forever loyalty with stuff like this.
Oh, it's short. Yeah,
Stuff like this.
I love short stories.
What the kids for younger generations, this is a book.
Yes, it is.
And Harry writes some of my favorite books. This one, Host of Shadows, you can still get it, right? It's still on the Amazon and stuff.
I think it's still there.
Is one of the best horror anthologies I have ever read. That's including all the big dudes, whatever. I love Host of Shadows. Just a brilliant collection, and really just flexes your muscle. Because you write so many different varieties, but you have the same flavor in each story you bring. This has, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I cracked it open. Really landmark story for at least my reading your work. Night Nurse.
Oh, The Night Nurse. Yeah, that one got nominated by the horror writers for as a story.
Yeah, I remember it just made a shit ton of noise, and it was one of those that I read it, and then I think the next night I read it again, and then I went back as a rookie writer reading it, going, how did he do that part? Why did he do that? Why this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so it was educational as well as just freaking enjoyable. But correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't that based off of somewhat of a situation you were in?
Oh yeah, I my gallbladder blew up. So
okay, I remember you were in the hospital.
I was hospitalized, and after a few days, they said they thought it was a couple of 3 days. It was bad, and they said it's probably your gallbladder, and you need to change your diet dramatically, and blah blah blah, and whatever. And well, I mean, like I'm going to do that, of course. But literally 2 or 3 weeks later, I was trying to eat lunch with Paige, and it blew up again. And this time it was atrocious. The first time it kind of stopped right when a client was racing me to the hospital. It was just gone. So I said, never mind. That's right. How's that for intelligent? So then the second time I end up doing 2 times in the hospital for 5 days and 10 days or something. And just I literally couldn't sit up. I mean, if you gave me a glass, I would not have the strength to get it to me. So I thought that would be a great time to notice that your nurse was some sort of creature. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, you can't move, and you know everything you never wanted to have happen, it's about to happen, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was the idea for the story. So I just arced that story based on that. I didn't expect it to get that reaction because it was just kind of catharsis.
Well, for the rest of us, it scared the shit out of us. It's I won't, like I'm going to go to a hospital now. Just saw the leg off right now. Just I'll be good. I'm not going to hospital.
I've had
because
enough
of you.
I've had enough of IV rigs to last a lifetime.
So something is physically and mentally draining and horrifying in its own way as what you went through spawned Night Nurse. So how does a guy who has never taken a sip of alcohol, never thrown a punch, and from what the boys told me, listening to some old interviews with you, you stated you were a virgin until 47. How does somebody like that write a ruffian Irish badass like Mick Callahan?
I have no idea. It's just great acting, you know.
Where did you grab that? You must be just very observant of other people.
That first novel, especially since it was set in Wells, Nevada, where my family had a ranch, except I called it Dry Wells. That book came out, and I was so proud of. I mean, it's the most, it's the most amazing thing in the world when you open a cardboard box and it's your novel.
Yeah,
and it actually is going to libraries and shit. Are you kidding me? Right? And then literally within a few days, if I picked up the book and thumbed through it, I'm going, well, that shows a lot more than you thought, doesn't it? So it isn't, but it's so close to the psychology of me and my background that it's actually painful sometimes.
Yeah, knowing a little bit about your background and some of the stories you've shared with me behind the scenes, I loved reading Mick Callahan. He's one of my favorite characters. Here's a guy who, despite living a life where everything pretty much goes the way you shouldn't go, he somehow at the end always does the right thing. Mm-hmm. and makes
when there's no other option.
Yeah. When there's no other option. What the hell? The right
Fuck it.
thing happens.
I may as well be ethical. What the hell?
Yeah, it's 5 beautiful novels, right? It was 5, right?
I think it was 5. Yeah.
5 or 6. 5 or 6.
I
have
think
them
it's
all.
5.
They're all on my Harry Shannon shelf downstairs. But we won't get too political. We won't get too political with this question because the Werepig is the safe zone from all of that out there. But
I'm glad there was one somewhere. Yeah.
Just come out here for an hour and we'll just
You
laugh.
want me to fuck that up?
No, Mick Callahan. I do not. But don't you think now would be a perfect time for a Mick Callahan book? If you ever needed somebody who colored outside the lines and wasn't supposed to do what he's doing, but gets the end result of correcting shit. Why aren't you writing a Mick Callahan book now?
I'm not writing much at all, to be honest. I'm really not. I've been working for a screenwriter, which is really cool, a very successul guy, but it's just
and I know
really
that counts.
interesting.
I know you write songs, and I know that you write screenplays, but I want a Mick Callahan book.
I just haven't felt motivated because there's just no one reading books, and publishing is in the mess that it's in, and it just isn't very inspirational. A lot of writing, and you know this, a lot of writing in part is, can I do this? In the beginning especially. Yeah. And it was a nightmare how many times it took me to get something together enough to go, well, that's almost publishable. But you want to do it. So you're Sisyphus and the rock going up that hill over and over. And then if you're halfway honest with yourself, okay, it's okay. But have I actually written 15 books later a really good one? Because I remember that way about songs. I could look back at 260 songs I wrote, and there's 3 or 4 that I go, that's damn near perfect. That's really right. That's not unusual for an artist, right?
No, I go with that.
So I just got, I think with the pressure of darkness, I think I hit a really good book. It's a little too convoluted, but I think it's the best thing. And the irony is it hasn't sold anywhere near what the other ones have, which is the strangest and most amusing, wickedly amusing thing to me. But it really is something where I go, there is not very much I would change about that. It's got a little too many characters. It's a little convoluted, but God damn, it's a good read. That's the kind of thing I would just go, oh, I can't believe it. I would just rip through it, and that's what I was out to do. So I think the part of can you do it? I did. I think the first Hungry novel with Stephen Booth is good. There's some things where I have to say, no, that's pretty damn good. You pretty much nailed what you were out to do. The dark humor, philosophy, all of it, it's there. So that motivation about whether you can, I can. It took a long time to do it the way I can actually say I'm proud of, but I can. So that motivation isn't there. Getting published is not there. As much as it's cool, the fact that it's been that I've done it a few times took that away. So I'm really kind of going, if I thought there was an audience that was large enough for it to really be fun for them and for me, I'd probably do it again, but I don't know that there is. I remember like one split second moment, I told her, I said, the thing nobody wanted to do was to be stuck with the head of the song pictures thing, having to go through the box, a big cardboard box full of cassettes from all over the place, right? Yeah. And so I remember doing that for 10 months and only found one song that was acceptable. And we couldn't get it.
That's almost a year if I do my math right.
You did your math right. It's so much dreck. And some of it, the reason it was so terrible is that some of it showed that somebody might become a good songwriter, but they had simply mixed. Here's my theory, that it can feel so good to create something, right? That you think the feeling of having created it is proof that it's good. It just means that you aren't constipated right now. So there's a sense of relief and escape when you finally get something done, but it's still shit.
It's like anybody who lost their virginity walking home going, nailed it. Oh, I am the guy.
That was the best 4 seconds of my life.
Next time I'll go twice as long.
So, we were laying there and I was half bombed and exhausted, and we listened for like an hour and a half, and it was the same old thing. And then I'm laying there on the couch and he's staring out the window at traffic. And this one cassette comes on and it's on, on, and I'm sitting up, you're a real tough cookie with a long history. And I said, holy fucking shit, what is that? And it was Hit Me With Your Best Shot by a guy in Toronto named Eddie Schwartz. And it was just him. He couldn't sing. Chubby little Jewish guy. And he wrote 5 songs. And that one song, that guitar lick and that one song became a platinum single for Pat Benatar.
Yes.
And I remember sitting up and going, wait, well, what the, and he's looking at me and we're both like, what? Right? And we listened to it. We listened to it again. Is this in comparison to, no, it's just really good. It took us almost a year to get that recorded. People said it's too pop, it's too this, it's too that. And we kept saying, are you nuts? It's a smash.
Yeah. It works for Pat Benatar. Yeah.
It was a huge hit. But I remember I don't know, but I would bet 3 years of listening to, I don't know how many, every Friday night or every other Friday night when I got stuck with it, one song.
I didn't realize this until they started giving me my Post-it notes to inform me. Paige Shannon, who is going to be singing later in the show, is related to you.
Yes, she's your sister.
Yeah. It's so no, but we have Paige in coming up later in the show, which is so cool. And it, like
she has a beard and white hair too, which is she's only 22.
Yeah, it's in the DNA.
It's in the DNA.
I've seen live footage of you guys singing on stage where you've picked up a guitar and you're sitting right next to her, playing the guitar. You've written songs together. That's awesome. And to me, that's my greatest nightmare, is having to work with my boys, my Boychilds, because that's just horrifying. How do you do it?
Actually, we've only written one song together, but when she started writing, because she was 14 when she started writing, I would say, well, I think you could maybe do this, or it would, songs usually have a chorus that lifts up out of the verse sense and whatever. So in the beginning, you have the typical thing you have with any father and children, which is go fuck yourself and the horse you rode in on and shut up and leave me alone. You get rebellion, you get pushback because you're critical.
When does that wear off?
Finally kind of has. Now it's almost a running joke with the two of us, but it was really hard for her. And at the same time, she wanted to get better. I mean, one of my favorite stories I tell about her is we had this huge fight about bar chords, and you play a little guitar, right? So when you have to bar an F, you have to grip the guitar and make an E with these fingers and then put your hand over and grip it so that you can press them all down. Right. And she was just, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Screw you and whatever. And I said, I want 20 minutes of practicing that chord, period, or whatever. I'm going to throw your guitar in the trash or whatever, which I threatened to do a few times. And then I'm in the other room and I'm doing something and I hear chord. Oh, and I still tease her about it because I heard, oh, and for the next 10 or 15 minutes, all I heard was bar chords.
Yeah.
It's just the lights came on, So that was how that process went. And then finally, this one, it's called This House. And it popped into my head because we've been thinking of selling our house and we've decided probably to stay here in LA for a while longer instead. But we were thinking of that. I have this nostalgia, right, for driving by a house that was bought with my first country record my big hit back in 75 or 6. And I always want to see it. But when I drive by it, it's just a house. The feeling is really powerful and poignant and nostalgic. And then I drive there and there's just a house with a different color of paint. And the front yard has a tree that my first wife and I planted in 1977 that is now 24 years old and huge. But nothing is the way my feelings say it's going to be. It's just there. And so I started playing with that idea of this house is not my home anymore. It doesn't feel right.
I love that song, by the way.
I had it stuck in my head, and then I woke up in the morning and wrote most of it down and thought, oh, but this melody in my head, I'm stealing completely from Jason Isbell. I'm totally ripping it off from another. Well, okay, that's not going to work. So I played with it and I gave it to her and said, see if you want to mess with it. Maybe you can come up with the melody and change some of the lyrics and let's do it together. So we did. And I love it too. I think it's the best song I've probably written since 1978 or 9.
It's one of those that hits you, right there. Because I think we've all, at some level, have experienced that, that conflicting kind of thing, that it's just wood and steel and tile, brick. And it doesn't look like it did when you were there, especially at the time period you were there, at the age you were. And now you're like, that's not it anymore.
Yeah, and I wanted to capture that moment where you think it's going to be, which is as if you were going to walk through a time warp, and be. I'm going to be 28 years old again in a time warp, and it's going to feel the same, and it really feels like that's about to happen, and then it doesn't. So I wanted to catch that, and one of the lyrics is a brand new fence, a coat of paint, and a strange name on the door. This house is not my home, and it's like, what? It never feels like it should be a different place, but of course it's 40 years later. Of course it is, right? Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to capture that, and then it dawned on me that it applies to a lot of things. The house you grow up in for Paige, because she was moving out. It applies to life itself, or to my own body, turning 73 and going, I wonder if this house is not going to be my home much longer.
Yeah.
And if all of those things are there. So we kicked that around and got excited and finished it. And I think she sings beautifully. So I'm real proud of that. That's the only one where we ever sat down and wrote together.
I'm glad that you and Paige have figured out through different means. Just text me, whatever. I don't want to see you looking over my shoulder, blah, 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 this and that, whatever. You guys have found a way. The danger that I face is they have full access to the Funky Werepig. They edit together much of this show.
Oh, so, you are in deep trouble when they get pissed.
Oh,
yeah.
Just for making eye contact with them. I'm a goner with this show. Because a lot of times I don't see the show until it goes up.
Oh no, that's bright. That's dim bulb shit right there. I mean,
they're sneaky kids. I think it's done. I'm ready to post up, and then I post up and I'm like,
every saloon singer like me has all these stories about singing. This is the same experience. I'm singing Bread. If a picture paints 1,000 words, why wait? I'm doing this Bread song, and it's a crowded night at a bar at the beach, basically in Marina Del Rey, where there's a lot of money, and it's packed and it's raining out. So the heater's on and it's really close and on the edge of stinky. And I'm doing my song and I'm nailing it. And I do the high ending in falsetto, and I look down and here's this kind of pretty girl, and she's standing at my feet going like this and looking at my foot, and I'm using a wah-wah pedal. So because I don't have the tremolo effect, so I'm going wah, 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 wah to get that bread sound or whatever. And I think, she just wants to see how I did it, I guess. And then she's looking up at me, and I realize she's pretty hammered. And then I hit the high notes, and she vomits all over my wah pedal and the stage. Just as I hit the high note. And of course, the entire band is like dying. They just stop playing and start dying. And within 15 minutes, the place is empty. Everybody runs from the stench. It's empty, and it's just whatever. And the amount of crap I took from that, you got a groupie, man. Look at you. He's going to meet you at your car,
or under it. Oh, good God.
Oh, good God. And those are the stories you tell if you've actually done that life, because they're just mind-boggling how often stuff like that happens.
Yeah, those are the ones, I'm sure there were many, many concerts you did where you walked out going, oh my God, that's what it feels like to be this.
Yeah. Well, and the smaller ones are often the funniest, but the story that Paige loves the most, do you remember Everybody's Talking at Me? by Nielsen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the theme to Midnight Cowboy.
Yes.
Everybody's talking at me. Can't hear a word they're saying, right? So I'm sitting in this steakhouse at the top of a building in Westwood, and it's Friday night, and we're singing, and I have a duo partner playing bass and singing harmony, and we're singing something, and the owner comes running over and goes, "Keep going, don't stop, keep playing," and we're like, okay. So we start, everybody's talking at me, and just figure, and then I said, as soon as that's done, we're going to jump to blah, 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 and we just start going, and then we realized some guy had a heart attack. And his booth, they're bringing in yeah, you get it? And they're bringing in the gurney. And he does not want anyone to look up or pay any attention. He wants us to keep everything absolutely normal so they can get this guy out before anybody realizes he's dying, choking on his steak or whatever's going on. And so we're singing, and it begins to dawn on us that the lyrics, everybody's talking at me, can't hear a word they're saying, only the echoes of my mind. People stop and staring. I can't see their faces, only the shadows of my mind. I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain, and they're taking this guy out, potentially dying, and that's what we're singing. And I start to cry, and he starts to cry, and we just keep going with tears running down our faces. Can't breathe, just dying from this. And then they get the guy out of there. It's still one of the most incredibly funny things I have ever been through, and we couldn't smile. And I'm just like, I cannot believe the timing. I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the point.
See ya. Good night, folks, particularly you.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Particularly you. Yes. Oh God, Paige just texted me and said, "I thought you were done at 10."
Oops. Okay, I'll wrap up. The big boss is calling in. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's been fun, man. It's been fun to see you again.
You know, to catch up on all this stuff. This is a true treat to me because, like I said, you were on nearly every Funky Werepig for as long as the Funky Werepig ran on the old radio show, and always a treasure. And the fans always, I mean, they were always the highest rated shows. People loved the stories and the multi-talented, the music and the comedy and all the stuff you bring. And you did it again. You nailed it. So thank you very much. I've taken up your entire, people don't know this because we edit some of the stuff down. We've been talking since last Tuesday.
That's right. Actually,
so,
Monday night, I think.
Monday night, it was, well, the time difference.
That's because we don't have any self-involved stories of our showbiz careers.
You can follow Harry Shannon on Facebook or go to Amazon to find Harry's books like his best-selling Mick Callahan series and his award-nominated Host of Shadows. And from me to you, one deep internet search will bring you archive footage of Harry singing and riding a bouncy ball on the Dean Martin Show. You will thank me later. Love you, Harry. Are you ready, piggy petters? Then let's put the needle to the record.
This house is not my home anymore. Clean and pack it up and lock the door. Years of laughs and tears between the ceiling and the floor. This house is not my home anymore. At first I'll stay away and just move on. I know it's not my place, I don't belong. Watching someone else's life, sing someone else's song. This house is not my home anymore. They say time heals all wounds, so maybe time will heal this too. till nothing left around me will allow me to pretend this house is not my home anymore.
To enjoy all of Paige Shannon's music, including her new LP due out in early 2022, head on over to PaigeShannon.com. I'm bragging about my buddy. You know her from our theme song, welcoming everybody to the No Pants Zone. But our buddy of 1,000 names is more than just a kick bahookie musician. The Funky Werepig is proud to share with you Moon's Cherokee Cookbook. It's filled with traditional recipes for meats and vegetables, breads, desserts, even for homemade teas. And they give you historical side notes for the various meals that you're making. The only cookbook to earn the official seal of the Cherokee Nation, it is the perfect gift for any holiday kitchen. And here's the coolest part. All of the proceeds go to the Cherokee Respond, Recover, and Rebuild Elder Assistance. So go to the lulu.com bookstore for Scarlet Sapphire Moon's Cherokee Cookbook.
Thanksgiving is a time of thanks and giving.
It's in the name.
So my brother and I are giving you guys this, the JJ Beatbox.
You can thank us later.
Like a clock on a wall said ding ding dong, it's time to check the monkey clock. You know, the batteries in the monkey clock died long ago, so when I look up and I see that the time is 10 after 12, that is the correct time. Because one does not argue with monkey clock. Hugs and heroics to our special guests tonight, Harry Shannon and Paige Shannon. You guys definitely made this a family Thanksgiving. And Harry, I would love to dedicate an entire show to all the stories that we share that we don't record, except for I've got that big reputation of being a good Catholic boy. Always watching. And Paige, thank you so much for the song. For you Paige Shannon fans, you're going to be hearing a whole lot more. High fives and disco hip bumps to the Magic Farmers Incorporated, Goat Boy, Ivan November / Malone, President James K. Polk, McCoy, and special Thanksgiving thoughts are with anyone who can't be with their families during the holiday. I know my family is either down the East Coast or San Quentin. Oh, what about that announcement from Michelle and the Women in Blues that on our January show we have Lady A, the original Lady A. That look you saw on my face was no, I'm not intimidated at all. Here's a fun fact: every guest that comes on our show gets either $20 or a Hardy's coupon book. Most go for the coupon book, but I think with Lady A, we're probably going to have to give her both. Who the hell has been doing my hair? Steve Bannon? Hey, we got to wrap this up so you guys can get back to your holiday, and we're going to get back to ours. I can't celebrate unless I'm with my, there he is, the light of all of our lives, JJ Glamour. JJ, one hell of a show, don't you think? I mean, the laughter, the music, wow. I'm going to ask you to do us that solid of where we throw our pants in the air, we put that needle to the record, and if you would, good sir, play us out and make it something funky.
Sajak ever challenged me to a fist fight, I would kick his ass.